loving discourse of yours. Finally, now, I take this privilege to introduce the All India President of the Sri Sathya Seva organizations, Sri Nimish Pandya. Sri Nimish Pandya is an ardent devotee of Bhagwan, Sri Satsanthaniliam, and profession, an eminent lawyer in corporate law, corporate real estate, corporate commercial and IPR, arbitration with and arbitration. As a person in the field of corporate world, he is a director of the Cable Kiran Company Limited, which is a very well-known company in India, and is also the chairman of a startup in entertainment and sports out of New York, which is now moving in 7 other countries. Sri Nimish Pandya is a very well-known and a versatile speaker. He has written and directed many dramas in the immediate presence of Bhagwan. If he had not become the All India President, or if he had not become the legal profession luminary, maybe he would have been a very popular actor because he loved acting in his young days. That's Mr. Nimish Pandya. I now take the opportunity of inviting Sri Nimish Pandya ji onto the dais to speak to the audience. So we have senior judges of the AP High Court, Sri Ramalingeshwara Garu, Sri A. Shankar Narayan Garu. We have senior IAS officers here. We have senior IPS officers here. We have corporate leaders from Microsoft, Google, and other corporate companies.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Offering my most humble salutations at the Divine Lotus feet. At the outset, let me express gratitude to all of you, brothers and sisters, for taking time off and being with us today evening. We've heard from Brother Doragaru the emotional pitch that every devotee feels and experiences when it comes to Bhagwan. You've heard from Brother Ramani the power of God as we see. We've seen presentations by 2 of my colleagues, what Andhra Pradesh does, what India does, and probably what the world is doing right now. But the question that I'd like to pose before this August gathering here today is that time in life is very important. 85 years, God came on earth, spent time with us, gave us love, gave us affection, gave us the power of self-confidence. In fact, the last sentence when the video stopped spoke about self-confidence. And I remember as a young man when I met Swami for the first time, he told me, don't plan anything in life. I have planned everything for you. Don't mess with my planning. And then he also told me something very nice as a young man, which really drew me to him. He says, remember, there is only one God, and that God is inside you. And he pointed to his chest. Those were the days when, living in Mumbai, studying in the St. Xavier's College, was a very colorful life. With many, many friends. And he would come back and tell me in the first interview, Kitna friends? All friends useless. As long as there is money in your pocket, you have friends. No money, no friends. There's only one friend, and that is God. And he pointed to his chest. I was young, probably not mature enough to understand what he was trying to indicate. So I thought that the physical form is a friend. I dished all my friends in Mumbai and thought that Bhagwan Sri Sat Sai Baba in the physical form is my best friend. But Baba is a great teacher. Baba is a great master. He teaches you in steps. Normally when you say he's my friend, you need to be in touch with him on a 24/7 basis. I mean, you call up anytime, he's supposed to answer, you can talk anything to him, supposed to respond. He did that for some time, and I enjoyed that bliss. But one day, he decided to shut shop with me and decide that he would not talk to me. Few years passed by when he refused to speak to me, refused to acknowledge me. And you can imagine, you left everybody in the world, you stuck to one form, and when that form ditches you, you are nowhere. Then the mind starts. Is this correct? Did I do the right thing? Is this really God? The mind starts. And when the mind takes you on a toil like this and makes you jump like a boat on the torrid sea, with waves tossing the boat, there is one little voice that starts from inside. And that is the voice of God. It is then that I got involved in the Bal Vikas movement, and the entire program of human values unfolded before the world. My wife and I got involved in the entire program, and there came the understanding from within that when he said that there is only one God and he's inside and he pointed his chest, I should have understood that it was not his chest, it was my chest. He was trying to tell me that God is inside me. Brothers and sisters, if you see the world today, and why would we sit today here and discuss Bhagwan Shri Sathya Sai Baba? He's no more in the physical form. But 85 years, the power of divinity manifested as Bhagwan Shri Sathya Sai Baba performed his entire Leela, left the physical form, and it's 7 years after that. And still people say that he's around. I feel him. He's talking to me. He's with me. He's taking care of me. There is some reason that all of us sitting here today need to ponder. We live in a world today, as Chalam showed one slide in the going, where people are apprehensive, they are scared, they don't trust, relationships have broken down, human beings are thoroughly not the grandeur that they are. Bhagwan came for a very specific purpose. Yes, all of us enjoyed bliss, that's a personal story. But for society and for mankind, he came for a very specific purpose. And that was to change the entire fabric of society. We created a society where everything is valuable, but the man is the least valuable. My watch is more valuable than me. My car is more valuable than me. My business is more valuable than me. The house is more valuable than me. My relationships don't care. For them, money is more valuable than relationships. And the judicial system knows the kind of litigation that we face between families, and big families, educated families, so-called the ameliorated families, where because of money, mother would fight the husband, the parents would fight the children would fight the parents. And look at the fabric of society in the matrimonial situations and relationships. At the lowest ebb right now, a boy would like to leave the girl at the slightest. She doesn't know to cook, therefore divorce. I can't tolerate her snoring, so divorce. We are in a world where human beings have lost value. What Bhagwan did, brothers and sisters, is that he changed the whole thing. He came with a whole strategy where man would be more valuable than everything in the world by drawing our attention that man is more valuable than anything in the world. This is the hallmark. This is why Bhagwan, as the cosmic creator, came to correct course for all of us sitting here in society to understand that the first message to be taken from the mission of Bhagwan Shri Sathya Sai Baba in his life is where he treated human beings as great value. And look at that. Take his 85 years. Never ever in any public discourse has Bhagwan said, ladies and gentlemen, never. He consistently addressed mankind as Divyatma Swarup Dulara and nothing else. He went to the extent of simplifying the entire spiritual chaos that mankind has created today in the name of religion, in the name of spirituality. He did three things. He gave the correct address of God, weaning away everyone who was going to be attached to temples and churches and mosques. He weaning away everyone who was attached to rituals and things. by drawing attention that look, the God that you're trying to look for is not outside, He's inside you, and therefore the journey and the correct address of God is inside you. God didn't reside in Prashantinilayam. God didn't reside in Kodaikanal. It was a physical form that was doing the Leela. But wherever we went and wherever we now go, whether we go to the church, the mosque, the temple, these are places of inspiration, of that inspiration that reminds mankind that ultimately, whichever place of worship you go, you are going to close your eyes and pray. And the symbolism of closing eyes is that reality which God told us, that He resides inside each one of us, brothers and sisters. The second thing which He drew up was that look at the relationship of man to man. We've lost track of the fact that the energy that binds you and makes you alive is the same energy that makes me alive. And that's where the secret lies, that the same God who is inside me is inside you, and there is no difference. The second beautiful hallmark that He gave to mankind. This change of vision, the change of attitude to society, and this is beyond religion, beyond caste, beyond creed, beyond color, beyond geographical boundaries. And He constantly insisted that society must unite together because it is in unity where divinity persists. And Swami was always very clean, very clear in his mind. Come together. Unity is divinity. When a family is to go and the entire family is to be a devotee, is to say, Pura family devotee, Swami is very happy. These are points that society must now take into consideration. Bhagwan Baba has done his job. As I say, throughout the length and width of the entire world, Swami has personally, at an individual level, on a one-to-one relationship, established the divine lamp of love is lit in the hearts of people. This lamp is burning everywhere. All that you and I need to do today is to resolve that we join all these points and these lamps which are lit by Bhagwan everywhere in the world, so that the image that comes up from joining all these points is the Virat Swarup of love that Bhagwan has already created and gone. People say the golden age is to come. I say it's not going to come, it's already there. We have to unearth that golden age, and that's what we all in society need to resolve to do. This is not the job of the Sai organization, as Brother Dora rightly mentioned. Sai organization is only a platform for people who want to improve themselves. I always say that the Sai organization is not here to do work for society. But the Sai organization is fundamentally for those people who want to embark upon this platform to change themselves. Because self-transformation is the first message and the first instruction of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. In fact, if you see the life of Swami, it is a one-to-one relationship. He has transformed each one individually. Look at the magnanimity or the magnum of the work that he has done in 85 years. Millions and millions and millions of people have personally contacted Bhagwan in some form or the other and transformed. When I became the All India President, brothers and sisters, I had this great unique opportunity to travel from Kashmir to Kanyakumari in every nook and corner of this country. What did I see? For the first time I realized that the All India President has no role to perform in the entire organization. The state president has no role to perform. Swami has already done what he has to do. And imagine, today in 170 countries, there are individually motivated people who do tremendous sacrifice in their day-to-day life, only inspired by one person called Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. His presence there, his omnipresence there, is inspiring millions and millions of people. Society needs to recognize this situation. I must share with you my little interaction with none other than Nani Palkhiwala. As a young lawyer, I was blessed by Bhagwan to go to Bangalore airport from Prashantinilayam to receive Nani, because he was going to be the keynote speaker at the convocation of the Sathya Sai University in Puttaparthi. You can imagine my excitement as a young lawyer, accompanying Nani Palkhiwala for, in those days, it used to take 3.5 hours to travel from the old Bangalore airport to come to Puttaparthi. Now, what do I do with Nani sitting next to me for 3.5 hours? So I'm trying to create conversation because he is a very learned man. He's already thinking so many things, and I have to create conversation with him. And as all my learned friends from the judiciary know, in Bombay we have this tradition of calling lawyers and everybody by the first name. So I said, Nani, I have a question. So I asked him, Nani, you are a Parsi and Baba is a Telugu person. What attracted you to Baba? And what he told me was something very interesting. He says, Nimish, in today's world, the only problem that society faces today is that we have each one of us sitting here who have this one weakness or one malady or one illness, is that none of us have the super ability of continuously 24/7 maintaining the unity of our thought, word and deed at all times. And this, he says, is the hallmark of character. Because Baba also always say that character is that in a person where his thought, word and deed is always unified. And I am going to Puttaparthi because Baba has started a university where he is saying and he's doing, and I'm impressed, that he's teaching young men and women to be integrated in their thought, word and deed. And therefore I'm going to Puttaparthi and I admire Bhagavan Baba. And he says, Nimish, you see, in today's world, in India, there is no crisis. In India, there is no money crisis. All of us are abreast with the latest developments, that despite all this money being siphoning out, our finance minister still says we'll grow at 7.5%. And imagine a bottomless pit, money going away in crores, but still there is growth. There's no crisis in India. There is no water crisis in India. There is enough water to quench the thirst of the entire world. There is enough resources in India that we can take care of the whole world. There is enough food that nobody in the world can go hungry. India can take care of that situation. And as a Parsi, he still remembered Kavi Pradeep's, poet Pradeep's old famous song of India, Jahan dal dal par sone ki chidiya karti hai basera, wo hai Bharat desh mera. But he says, Nimish, the crisis that India faces today is character crisis. That is the only crisis we are facing. Because, take the professionals, they say something, do something, think something. And that covers all the professions, including mine. Take the businessmen, they do something, say something. In fact, interestingly, when I was refusing to become a lawyer, and Swami was forcing me to become a lawyer, I used to ask, Swami used to always say, and this is for the legal profession on a personal level, Swami, I've heard Swami say that lawyers are the cause of the trouble in the entire society today. And he says 7 generations ahead and 7 generations back of lawyers will go to hell. So when Swami was forcing me to become a lawyer, I asked Swami, you hate me so much that you're forcing me to become a lawyer. He said, nahin, tum chinta nahi karo, tum acha vakil banega. I said, okay, Swami. But I mean, and my father, who was also a lawyer, used to always joke. When you see a lawyer driving a BMW, you must know that the society is in a bad shape. When you see a lawyer hopping into a rickshaw and going, then society is improving. Because the whole problem is, when man cannot keep his word, lawyers come into place. When man cannot keep his integration and take care of his health, doctors will come into place. When man cannot keep simple accounts, chartered accountants will come into place. But the solution to all these problems that we've created is simple. Think, speak, and do the same thing at the same time, and have the willpower to do this. And this was that hit me like a bolt. And I realized, yes, the first drama that Swami wrote was Chepinadu Chestara. When he writes so beautifully, when he says there's a phone ringing in the house, and the kid picks up the phone, and there is Ashok uncle on the other side, who says, Beta, is daddy at home? And daddy doesn't want to speak to Ashok uncle because he owes money to him. So then daddy tells the child, tell Ashok uncle I'm not at home. So the kid picks up the phone and says, Ashok uncle, daddy says that he is not at home. Now the kid, integrated in thought, word, and deed, full of character. Society is teaching him how to say lies in the name of so many different situations. That's where, look at parents. The father would take a glass of whiskey and sit at home and tell the son not to drink. The father is smoking but telling the son, don't smoke, smoking is injurious to health. The mother and father are fighting at home and telling the children, no, no, don't fight with your brother. The daughter is seeing the mother fighting with her own sister, but then mother is saying, don't fight with your brother. This cannot work. And if we have to show gratitude to Bhagavan as a society, whether we believe him or not, but the indication that Bhagavan gave to society was that there is a course correction required here in terms of integrity and character, which he was trying to indicate and tell all of us. If you see the entire gamut of things that Baba did, the first thing, and rightfully which he did, was to correct education. Because we had lopsidedly understood education for so many years. And he explained it beautifully. He says, understand the human being. Ask yourself the question who you are and why you are born. Think that you are not one, you are not the physical body, you are the body, you are the mind, you are the spirit. And therefore, education must address all these three issues. And therefore, he started the entire gamut of human values and the Bal Vikas program. I tell you, brothers and sisters, the Bal Vikas program is an amazing program for 9 years when those children from the age group of 7 to 14, when they go through that 9 years of program and they step out in society. Today, there are a few lakh children all over the world who have passed out through Bal Vikas, who will stand the test of integrity and character. And we see them in so many fields, in so many professions today. They are today judges of the High Court, they are ministers, they are IAS officers, they are doctors, they are lawyers, but they stand out differently. The fragrance of Swami is eminent from their persona. And that is where the beauty lies. And I'll tell you a story of a young girl, one of my students. What good education of the kind that Bhagavan was indicating to us can do to a persona of a child. This young girl passed out of Bal Vikas, and when she went to college, you know how peer pressure is troubling every parent today. Peer pressure is ruining the lives of children, and parents have no wherewithal how to handle this peer pressure. This girl goes to college, and like any other college, a bevy of friends go across in the recess time across the street to pick up some hawkers, samosas or something to eat. And all these girls eat the samosa and throw the paper on the floor. But this girl, being a part of Bal Vikas student and being regimented and knowing that I must not dirty the place, she folds the paper and puts it in her purse. And all the peers try to chide her and say, don't act smart just because you're going to put the paper in your purse. Bombay is not going to become clean. Peer pressure, the problem of today, which our children are facing. But this girl, passing out of Bal Vikas, says, no, you can laugh at me, you can chide me, you can do. I will fold my paper and put it in my purse. Then she comes and tells me, Nimish uncle, you know what happened after 1 month? After 1 month, I continued to fold the paper in my purse. But all the other girls at the end of 1 month started folding the paper and putting in their purse. They stopped putting the frozen thing. This is the power of character. And Bhagavan therefore is to say, give me only one man and I will transform the world. Give me one devotee and I'll change the world. And he proved it by his own Bal Vikas program. He proved it by his university. This is something that we must ponder and understand and influence our own lives and the people around us in society. This meeting today would have great meaning for Hyderabad if all of us sitting today, understand Swami's mission and his perspective of what our obligation today is in society. Our obligation is not only to remember Bhagavan and be emotional about it. Our obligation is not only to reiterate what Bhagavan has said at every forum. Our obligation is to put his message into practice. And that's where our whole story lies. It is this dimension of Bhagavan's message to transform our lives is where we need to carry the next step forward. What would Bhagavan have expected? Sitting there in the heavens somewhere almighty. What would he expect? Not that I keep on saying, thank you Bhagavan for what you did to me. You saved my typhoid, you got me married. He said, look, that's history, that's past. What are you now doing next? What is it that you are, the faith in Bhagavan Shri Sathya Baba lies in the fact that all of us believe that God and the power of God resides inside me, and believe in Bhagwan when he said that not only I am God, but you are also God. This revaluation of man is the focus of our attention. And we need to motivate people to do this at all times. Whether I'm a lawyer, I'm a judge, I'm a doctor, I'm a businessman, I'm an IS officer, I'm a techie, I may be a housewife, I may be a young man or young woman, whatever I may be. But the duty lies in carrying this message further is what really I would really wish to place before this August gathering. The time is gone now to even doubt ourselves. We have to have faith that we are embodiments of divinity, that Bhagwan addressed us for 85 years. And this is not something which Bhagwan has said new. Our entire culture, our entire history, our entire traditions motivate us to think in this direction. That this human body, this human mind, the power within has so much potential that we can do great things. But for that, we need to have faith. We need to have self-confidence. And that self-confidence never comes by rituals. This self-confidence never comes by going anywhere in the world looking for God outside. This self-confidence comes only by the sadhana which Bhagwan Baba indicated to every human being, irrespective of caste, color, creed and religion. And what was the sadhana, brothers and sisters? That sadhana was that whichever method you can adopt, whatever your religion tells you, but achieve this goal that you master your mind. That you achieve the power to sort of make your mind peaceful. Because only when a mind is at peace that you hear the voice of conscience. And putting the voice of conscience into action is the story of human values. Baba used to say that love is the power inside. The difference between Nimish alive and Nimish dead is the focus of inquiry. The day I fall down and I'm declared dead, my wife may have too much love for me, but no wife has taken a dead husband home and no husband has taken a dead wife home. We all know that. Because we know the very fact the darling becomes body. Ye body ko hatao, is body ko udhar dalo. I mean, the person who swears love relates to that body, that human being as body after the death. Why? Because all of us inherently know that this Nimish Pandya standing in front of you today has value only because of the energy which is inside, which makes me breathe, which makes me talk, which makes me relate to you. And Swami used to say, inquire there, that's where the secret lies. And that's what our ancient Gurukuls used to teach our children, that who am I? And that question is to be focused, that Bhagwan said. Because it's only when the mind is quiet that the conscience becomes strong. And Swami, in whichever form you know, this Bhagwan spoke for 85 years. But very few changed listening to his discourses. It is only when Swami starts talking from inside you that you connect. And that's when you realize, oh gosh, I have to listen to Swami inside. And that Swami guides me. And when you put that into action, as I told you, Swami explained this beautifully, that the energy within, the prerana as he used to call it, is the energy of love. And this is the truth. When this energy speaks, the voice of conscience speaks, it reflects on the mind, that is the truth. And when conscience which reflects on the mind is put into action, that is dharma. And all those people who have this habit of putting conscience into action, they only will enjoy peace and nobody else. I remember Brother Gopi introducing me as a person who wanted to become an actor. So let me give you a story in two parts, two scenes. Suppose my wife tells me, I'm very devoted to her and she likes me and all that, and my brother comes home. Moment my brother comes home, he says, Nimish bhai, I'm in deep trouble, give me 5,000 rupees, I need it immediately because I have. So my natural conscience tells me, give. So my hand goes in the pocket, takes out 5,000 and is about to give. And suddenly a voice comes from behind, Aji sunte ho kya? You can guess whose voice it is, okay. It's the wife telling me, come inside, I want to talk to you, let's have a chat, okay. So I go inside and she chats with me very intellectually and convinces me that no, this can become a habit. Please tell him he has to go and work hard, earn your money, do it, but don't give the money to me. Now I have two scenes in my life. My conscience is telling me give. The mind has been intellectually convinced by my wife that don't give. Two things happen, two scenes. Scene one, I listen to my wife come out and tell my brother, sorry, you have to work, I can't do it, go home, and he goes away. The day passes and the night comes. What happens in the bedroom? My wife sleeps peacefully, but I am tossing in the bed because my conscience is telling me, you should have given, you should have given, you should have given. So I am not at peace. Scene 2. My wife has convinced me, but I still come outside and give 500,000 rupees to my brother. The day goes by, night comes, the bedroom scene. What happens? My wife will grumble, 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 but I will be snoring away peacefully without being disturbed by my wife's trouble. What is the story? Conscience into action is the only thing that can bring peace to mankind. Being at peace with yourself is when you listen to God. When Swami, you listen to God from inside, that's where peace is. Now this secret Bhagwan gave free of charge to entire mankind. Now whether we accept or not is left to us. Whether we want to do this or not is left to us. And therefore this is the proposition I like to leave before this August gathering. The time is over now when we keep on saying Rama, Krishna, Jesus, Buddha, Allah. Very good. But where is the action? People only talk nowadays. Very poor in action. And that is the problem with the entire society, right from the lowest strata of suffering mankind to the highest elitist or educated people. Only talk, no action. And Swami is very strict about it. Once I was talking like this on the Cycle stage, and I, as usual, I was flamboyant with my speech. Everybody appreciated, and I was talking about God inside and all that. And you know, Swami is very subtle. Nobody knows when he hammers you properly. So the whole audience is clapping and laughing, and everybody, some people are jealous that, look, he's got his chance, he's gone to Swami, I'm touching his feet, Swami very lovingly putting his hand on my head. But the murmur which he is murmuring, only I am hearing. Not even the boy next to his chair is hearing. He says, "Khali baat karta hai, experience nahi hai." You know, I mean, this is what Swami was, a taskmaster. And God is like that. Divinity is like that. You can't cheat divinity. You can't play a fool with divinity. And therefore, we cannot play fool with the Divine Master because he knows everything. He is ahead of you. Even before you pray, he knows what you're going to pray. Even before you say something, he knows what you're going to say. And sometimes he makes you say things which he wants you to say. That is the whole thing. Rangarao Garu is laughing, isn't it, sir? I mean, what was in our hand? Nothing. The whole gamut of effort and divine will is something that we've understood from Bhagwan. That both are important. Your effort is important and his grace also is important. Now see, these are things we need to tell our children today. Brothers and sisters, probably you and I have passed our age of transformation. But at least let us do one thing, that we get in whichever sphere of life we are. Let us set examples and tall examples of integrity and character where society will be at peace. And what Swami said, being happy is our birthright. Today people are not happy. Why is the Seva organization doing Seva activities? Only for one reason, that the world needs unconditional love. And there is nobody to give unconditional love except Bhagwan Shri Sathya Sai Baba and the people motivated by him who give unconditional love to society. And unconditional love is the cure for everything. It may sound atrocious, but let me give an example. I was arguing an IPR matter before Justice Deshmukh in the Bombay High Court. Across me was one of Bombay High Court's very leading lawyer on IPR, Mr. Tulsapurkar. Mr. Tulsapurkar opened the case and he was flamboyant and I was finished. There was nothing left. But still, as I was trying to talk, and more I was trying to talk, Justice Deshmukh was at my, answer me one question only. He would not let me budge from anywhere. You know, sometimes my brothers on the bench are very focused. They study the matter and come, and they know that this is the point. So he pinned me down. And I knew the moment I opened my mouth, this matter is over. And my client also was a Baba devotee. And I can tell you, I am not worried about putting this fact of how Swami can interfere with the judiciary. If Justice Bhagwati can say all judgments were written by Swami, I can say this definitely, no problem. So what happened was, I turned, because we have this habit, we have the permission to turn with the permission of the court on the bar and talk to the client. So I turned back and told the client, come here. So he thought he wanted I wanted to ask him something. I said, I don't want to ask you anything. Can we just for 1 minute say Om Shri Sai Ram? So I'm saying Om Shri Sai Ram, he's saying Om Shri Sai Ram with me. What happened, brothers and sisters, was in that process, intuitively, a point which I had missed came to me from within. I had not studied, not prepared, no notes, nothing. That intuition came from inside and brought me that there was a false statement in the limitation clause in the suit, and Justice Deshmukh hates lies. So then with great confidence, I turned back and told Justice Deshmukh, Lordship, I will answer this question, but you will have to listen to one falsehood which I want to draw your attention to. And his ears went up. What falsehood? I pointed out, and you won't believe me, the whole table turned. Mr. Pandya, sit down. Mr. Tulsapurkar, tell me why should I not dismiss your case? I was sitting peacefully there. He lost that case. This is 15 years ago. Till today when I cross him in the bar, he still smirks at me. He still doesn't understand why he lost a fantastic case and why I won a case which I had to learn. Because when God helps, no human being comes in the way. And this is the attitude that Bhagwan wanted us to derive in every aspect of life. Brothers and sisters, I think today evening must end with this resolve that all of us have a duty to perform. Whichever status of life we are, whatever profession we may be, whatever business we may be doing, let's do it with love and affection. Let's do it happily. Let's do it with integrity, not with selfishness. Swami used to say, give people. You take and give people. You also be happy, let other people be happy. Don't only think of you being happy and nobody else being happy. That's what the whole philosophy of Swami was, that he's omnipresent, he's everywhere. He's guiding us, but let us recognize that in society and transform society. We want society to be a happy place, because as Swami just mentioned in the discourse, you have to be happy, because only happy people can make people happy. Sad people cannot make people happy. And today, the world needs happiness, love, and unconditional love, and that's where we're all together at. Join us, be with us at the Satsai organization, brothers and sisters. We are with you, you are with us, and Swami is with all of us. And that's the story of Bhagwan Shri Satsai Baba. Thank you very much for being with us. And I think it's dinner time, and I think Brahmarpanam and offering this food to Bhagwan is also a part of the situation. And before that, I think we'll offer our gratitude to Bhagwan by offering Aarti to him. Thank you, and thank you very much. Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nimish Pandya garu. I think, over the last 40 years, this was one of the best speeches that I've heard from Mr. Nimish Pandya, and I think Swami was speaking from internally within him, and this is something fantastic. And I'm sure that having heard that last bit of the case being won, many of our friends here must be thinking that we should retain Mr. Nimish Pandya as our attorney in case we go to the court anytime. Oh, you've given up practice, sir. Right. We would like to now end the session with Harti to Bhagwan. I request our All India President, Mr. Nimish Pandya, to offer Harti to Bhagwan, please.
Swami Sathya Sai Hare Bhakta Jana Samrakshaka Bhakta Jana Samrakshaka Bhakti Maheshwara Om Jai Jagadish Pranapate Swami Sarva Pranapate Ashrita Kalpalatika Ashrita Kalpalatika Apad Bandhava Om Jai Jagadish Hare Mata Pita Guru Daivam Mariyantayu Nive Swami Mariyantayu Nive Nada Brahma Jagannatha Nada Brahma Jagannatha Nagendra Shayana Om Jai Jagadish Hare Omkara Rupa Bhuja Shiva Sai Mahadeva Satya Sai Mahadeva Mangala Harati Anduko Mangala Harati Anduko Mangala Giridhari Om Jai Jagadish Hare Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Om जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा ओम शांति 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 समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ओम शांति शांति शांति।
जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।
ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्तव्यं ब्रह्मकर्म समाधिनः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Sairam, before we go for dinner, may I request that we have a group photograph. We are all gathered here today. It will be a great memory for all of us. I request.